starting to think this asteroid belt isn't worth the effort.
Ugh. This is what, the fourth attack in 3 days?
Gunjack 2: End of Shift is the sequel to the best-selling VR game Gunjack. Players take on the role of a Gunjack, a turret operator on the Kubera, the largest deep space mining rig of its kind. Their job is to keep the rig safe from attacking pirates, bandits, and anyone else trying to steal the crew's hard-earned cargo.
On the audio front, we wanted to create a striking contrast between the industrial patched-together aspect of the cockpit and the high-tech enemies flying around you.
Everything you hear in VR, from sound effects to music to voiceover, is critical for creating immersion in our virtual world.
From a first-person perspective, one of the end goals was to simulate a sense of presence by creating a connection between the player and their cockpit. Gunjacks are the last line of defense, so I really wanted the players to get that overwhelming feeling of being the last one standing. We've implemented a lot of audio feedbacks to recreate the physical response of the cockpit and provide this intense experience.
Since we're talking about a shooter game, one of the most important aspects is going to be our weapon design. We really wanted to keep players connected with their weapons and tools, so we used different game parameters to have different layers of control, and that way we could continually provide the subtle feedback and variation that would make that possible.
Salvage crew can't leave until we've secured the area.
A good example of this would be the autocannon.
We've put a lot of thoughts into building the mechanical aspect of the autocannon. The spinning barrels, the cooldown, the firing system, and so on.
We knew it would be really important for us to provide both realistic and tactical audio feedback.
This approach was a key component of the cockpit experience we wanted to create in Gunjack 2.
Third-person sounds were important mainly for providing gameplay feedback. We have a lot of new and unique enemy types, and we've really tried to bring them all to life and to give them each their own sonic signatures.
We really loved the blue-collar sci-fi setting in Gunjack, and we wanted to build on it in the sequel.
We decided that as a player, you will not be able to directly interact with the environment, but we still wanted to keep people really engaged and present with the narrative.
Then he says, "How do I take a leak in this thing?"
With Gunjack 2, we wanted to build a music approach on top of the first game and provide a deeper experience.
We wanted the music to convey a sense of the vastness of space, feelings of desolation, mystery, and danger. Action and intensity are central elements to the score. The battles in Gunjack 2 are fast-paced and dangerous.
Gunjack! Target those sleepers!
Interactive music has been designed and used as a key element to tell the story.
The music adapts interactively to the on-screen action.
In this game, music serves both the gameplay and narrative.
Hold on. Propulsion systems are almost back online.
Text in video games can be cumbersome at the best of times, but in VR especially, if it's not designed into the world, it can really ruin presence. So as much as possible, we communicate with the player through VO. Everything from control tutorials to gameplay hints to the actual storyline dialogue is all delivered through voiceovers that are piped into the player's cockpit.
I remember back when I first started.
Let me guess. You threw rocks at the rocks.
When I first started, we had automated defenses for this sort of thing.
You can't have the player character react using a voice or in a way that the player doesn't identify with, because it would ruin any sense of immersion you've managed to build with the player.
And a lot of things we don't anymore. Budget cutbacks. Get used to it.
Often when you have a project with multiple directors, it can be too complex and you have a problem of too many cooks in the kitchen. But CCP and the Gunjack team had a very clear division. So it was very smooth. They had an excellent dynamic, and that made for a really easy gunjack recording process.
A rock the size of my fist just punctured my cockpit. I want you back in sight now. 7 and 9 can handle your sector.
Our goal with Gunjack 2 was to create an experience that was easily accessible and to push the boundaries of what mobile VR is capable of.
While the functions of sound design and voiceover in Gunjack 2 were to provide narrative, tactical, and spatial immersion, music creates emotional, narrative, and contextual feedbacks to the player.
I believe I now have your attention.
By combining those functions together, we've been creating a more powerful sensory experience to raise the bar, once again, of mobile VR.
No! Not now! It's too soon!